Everton amid quite an interesting signing in left-back Adam Aznou coming in, but I'm not really sure many people know what he's about as a player and what the actual plan behind buying Aznou is. So in this video, we're going to take a look at some of his strengths, some of his weaknesses, believe it or not. I know we're always positive here, but sometimes we need to do it. And then we're going to look at how exactly Everton are going to use him and what changes with Aznou coming in. Nevertheless, I'm quite excited for this signing and it looks like a lot of Everton fans are as well. But you know it's a good signing when other people, fans of other teams, are getting involved and they look a bit jealous. They may be just happy that this player is getting a good move, but it does tiny bit of jealousy maybe, and that's exactly what we haven't had for like, what, 10 years? This is a good signing. Let's get into it. What we really need to discuss is, well, what's the reason behind getting him? Why did we bring him in? Why is it a left back when most of us thought it would have been a right back? And what could the signing of Adam Aznou point towards when it comes to Moyes' tactical plan for next season? Just a bit of background on him. He was born in Barcelona, but he does play for the Moroccan national team. But at Barcelona, he came through La Masia's academy, so there's clear talent there. And at La Masia's academy, he actually became good mates with Lamine Yamal. Don't fancy joining Everton by any chance, do you? We could do with a right winger. But in 2023, Aznou left Barcelona to sign for another European giant in Bayern Munich, with rumours being that a lot of other European clubs were interested in him. So if that doesn't show his quality, then I don't know what does. But don't worry, we are going to show what he's good at. Just bear with. After only 2 Bundesliga matches for Bayern Munich, Aznou went on loan last season to Real Valladolid in his native Spain. And that's where we begin, because this is not a regular heat map for a left back. Let me tell you why. Of course, out wide, he will get the ball, and that's why you see a lot of red there. A high concentration of touches on that left-hand side of the pitch. Normal for a left back. But there are actually 2 other sides to this that aren't actually normal for a left back. The first is in his own half, inverting to get the ball. And that's quite interesting because, well, we all know Mykolenko doesn't do it for Everton. Could that be something we try next season? And then in the other half, there's an example of him inverting again, but this time in and around the box, with him also picking up spaces on the corner of the box in attacking situations. And we're going to touch on why that could be a good tool for Everton in a second. But first, let's have a quick look at his defending, because that's where the question marks are around with this guy. We can have a look at this, then move on to some of the reasons why we probably actually bought him. This is a good example of his defending, and you can see here, Anthony is being passed the ball. That's right, Man United Anthony. And Aznou is quite quick to react to Anthony's tricks. Anthony tries to run over the ball to let that ball go behind him. Aznou's quick, he's sharp, he sees that happening before it happens. And what I really like about this is that he doesn't actually drop deep to get possession after he's won the ball. He makes a darting run forward, and his first thought is to always be attacking. But there are possible questions with Aznou defensively, especially with balls playing in behind over the top, as you see often with left backs and right backs that are more attacking minded. They do have some problems defensively, and we're going to talk about that in a second and why it actually may not be that big of a problem, because Adam Aznou's qualities far outweigh the shortcomings, and the qualities are the reason Everton have bought him. Now let's just get to the fun stuff, shall we? This is Real Valladolid last season in possession. A left back usually is a bit deeper than what Aznou is here, but this is exactly what his game is all about. He's starting that extra 5 or 10 yards higher so he can receive the ball to move forward. He's not interested in playing those sideways passes. He always has that attacking mindset almost ingrained into his brain. So that was build-up. Now let's look at the next phase of attack, which is Real Valladolid trying to work the ball in and around the box using the wide areas, but Aznou isn't actually in a wide area this time. Look at where he is. Just like his heat map suggested earlier, he's in a central spot in the final third. And of course, we know that we don't have a single fullback at the club who's capable of doing it. And I don't think we've actually had a fullback that can invert like this ever. Baines could have done it, but he wasn't in the generation that did it. Otherwise, I really don't think we've had anyone that can do this. But what's really nice about this starting position is that it lets the left winger be extremely wide. And what's nice about this starting position for the left winger is that he gets to receive the ball extremely wide, and that drags an opposition defender out towards him. And that allows Aznou to then target the space he's left in behind. So Aznou's actually standing there on purpose. He's not doing it for no reason. He's actually done it because he wants to get the second pass, not the first pass. And again here, this is a position that he always picked up for Real Valladolid last season, on the edge of the box. And that ball actually does fall to him, and he had several shots last season from these types of areas. He didn't score, but, you know, he gets pretty close, and don't be surprised if you see this next season at Everton. But he's not one-dimensional, because he's got the qualities of a normal, per se, left-back. Very similar to Milos Kerkez, very similar to Anthony Robinson last season in the Prem. They were getting high and wide and delivering those balls into the box all the time, and they racked up a lot of assists between them. Aznou is like that. He gets the ball here and he delivers a really good ball into the box. Nothing actually comes from it, but you can imagine with the height of Everton's players, with the type of players we have that love to get into the box and win aerial duels, you can imagine it working pretty well. But he's not actually wide this time. He's in that awkward little half space in between the player and the box, and what he's doing is he's trying to target that space with an underlapping run, and we definitely don't have anyone that does that right now. And it can be such a good tool in allowing the winger of the team to square up a defender, because they can't see behind them. They don't know that Aznou is making this run, and it can be a really good way of playing the ball into the box on the blind side of an opposition defender. And trust me, I've saved the best part of Aznou until last, because his skill, his special skill, the thing that makes him so good is his 1v1 dribbling ability. And actually, this isn't even a 1v1. This is a 1v3 against Barcelona. The ball is being played to Aznou now, and you can see that Real Valladolid are under the cosh. There are a lot of Barcelona players pressing them, trying to win the ball high up the pitch. And even his own teammate is going like this, pointing away, because he wants Aznou to clear the ball. Just get it gone as far as you can. Hope for the best, try to regroup. And now, when the ball actually does arrive at Aznou's foot, there's 3 Barcelona players preventing him from going forward. One is stopping him from coming inside, one is stopping him from going down the line, and then there's another one in between that. Surely he's just going to clear it. No, he doesn't. He drops the shoulder to beat one, and then he's still got 2 to beat. How do you beat 2 players like this? It's a good question, but Aznou has the answers. Because he does this thing where he keeps the ball so close to his foot, but then pushes it away, knocking it past you, beating you for pace, because he knows that he can knock it past you and run faster than you can turn around and chase him. And now the situation has completely flipped on its head, because Real Valladolid with Aznou have gone from trying to clear the ball and regroup defensively into now having a 2v2 against Barcelona, because Aznou has taken out 3 players already. So now it's a 2v2, Aznou and the striker versus the 2 Barcelona centre-backs, and you can see just how much space there is to work into. And if the timing of the pass was a little better from Aznou, that would have almost been certainly a goal. And that to me points towards something that David Moyes really wants Everton to become next season, a counter-attacking team that don't actually just hoof it, hope for the best, try to hassle opposition defenders with loose balls. It's actually a methodical approach to exploiting space. And Aznou, with his dribbling ability, and you look at some of the other players we've been linked with recently, which I'll get to in a minute, it points towards us trying to culminate that vertical style of play that would be pretty effective, to be honest. And once all these players have been brought in, the 9 players we're supposedly going to sign, I'll make a video on how this whole system will work. But make sure to like the video if you want to see that. So how will this work? And we're going to have to go to the tactics board for this one, because it needs some explaining. Aznou has a high starting position. We know that from this video, right? It would be brave, to say the least, to have 2 fullbacks doing this. And we saw last season that Jake O'Brien is so comfortable as that defensive style right back. So the back 4 could go from this in possession to this in possession, with O'Brien tucking in to create that 3. Meanwhile, Aznou has that freedom to bomb on forward. Mykolenko was trying to do this a bit last season, but quality-wise in the final third, he lacks a bit. I don't mind Mykolenko, but he does lack a bit of that final ball. We've also spoken about Aznou's ability to step inside centrally, and Aznou's clearly got the ability to do this, is comfortable at doing it, and maybe something that Everton choose to do. So, how does that work? Well, I think Aznou picking up these types of spaces leads to Njai starting wider, or Njai starting as the attacking midfielder, and we bring in that very attacking left winger who loves to hold width and be direct. And I know you're all going to say Malik Fofana. Again, another reason to hit the like button, because I will make it if this gets 200 likes. So what will the system actually be for Everton next season? I think with Aznou's arrival, he will be an extremely attacking left back, right? That's how you get the best out of him. And I think they'll start him wide. I think starting him wide is way better for Aznou, is better for Njai because he gets to operate in the half spaces. And that's the best use of that left-hand side until we sign a left winger. And with that in mind, O'Brien having a slightly more conservative role where he drops deep to create that back three, have a bit of solidity, could very much become a likelihood. Meaning the back three could look a little something like this. Branthwaite having that opportunity to really use that left foot, push the ball forward into these types of areas. Meanwhile, I think the right winger, whoever that may be, because we are absolutely desperate for one, will be a touchline winger. He'll start extremely wide. And this is what it'll look like. I think it'll look pretty good on the pitch. This is what it looks like on paper. Let's see.